This hike was a success with over 100 participants. Don't forget to join us April 13th at the Bernasconi Camp at Lake Perris State Recreation Area.
Perris Joint Powers Authority and Perris Community Economic Development Corporation of the City of Perris. This Tuesday, May 14, 2019, at 6:33 p.m. Madam Clerk, may I have roll call, please?
Mayor Pro Tem Magana. Councilmember Corona.
Here.
Councilmember Rabb.
Here.
Councilmember Rogers.
Here.
Mayor Vargas.
Here. Thank you. Item 3 is our invocation, which should be led by Reverend Terry Trombley, and she's present. And then if you'd remain standing for item 4, which is our Pledge of Allegiance, which will be led by Mayor Pro Tem Magana.
Let us pray. Loving God, we invite your presence into this gathering of City Council. May your love, compassion, and wisdom be present in every word spoken. We know that unless you build the house, our labors are in vain. For you are the one watching over us, keeping us safe, giving us hope and inspiration each morning, and encouraging us each evening. Thank you for each person in this room, our leaders and guests alike. We are grateful for leaders who willingly serve the people of Perris. Fill each of them with your spirit of truth, courage, and love, and may your Holy Spirit guide them to unity in their discussions, their decisions, and the implementation of all that they decide. We pray that what is done this evening may be for the well-being of all, in this community, for the benefit of many and beyond. We are surrounded by your love, and so it is in your holy name that we pray these things, O God. Bless us now. Amen.
Please join me for the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you, Reverend Trombley, for the invocation and for your appearance, Pastor Hunt. It was nice to see you again. Item 5 is a report on closed session items. Mr. Dunn.
Thank you, Mayor. The council met in closed session to discuss the 2 items of potential litigation noted on the agenda. The council was updated, gave direction to staff, but no reportable action was taken tonight.
Thank you. Item 6 is presentations and announcements. 6A is presentation of proclamation to April Jones, Riverside University Health Systems Behavioral Health Commission, proclaiming May 2019 as the Mental Health Month. Is April here?
Hi. So I'm April Jones. I'm the Vice Chair of the Behavioral Health Commission. And so I just wanted to thank you all for allowing us to accept this proclamation and participating in our event. We do have a wellness resource fair, our annual wellness resource fair that will be happening on May 23rd, Thursday from 12 to 4 at Fairmont Park in Riverside. And I will have some flyers out front for anybody who would like to participate.
Thank you, April. We have a little adjustment, so we're going to issue your proclamation up here behind the dais if you can join us for the photograph too as well. So we do have a long and pretty lengthy proclamation, so we'll just get down to the now therefore be it resolved that the mayor and the city council of the city of Perris, California do hereby proclaim 2019 as Mental Health Month, and also call upon the citizens, government agencies, public and private institutions, businesses, schools in the city of Perris to recommit our community to increase awareness and understanding of mental health, expand the dialogue about the steps of our citizens can take to promote mental health and wellness, and foster an understanding about the need to appropriate and accessible services for the mental health needs of all people. Thank you. Okay, item 6B is introduction of new city employees. Mr. City Manager, Mr. Belmudez.
Mr. Mayor, members of the City Council, it's a pleasure this evening to continue the practice of introducing our new hires. This evening, we have several new hires. We actually have 7 employees, a lot of familiar faces, and 1 new face. So with that, I'm going to turn it over to their direct supervisors, who's going to introduce each of the respective staff members. And I believe we're going to start off with Planning Manager Fung. Mr. Fung.
Good evening, Mayor and members of the City Council. I'm here to proudly introduce Nathan Perris, recent promotion to Senior Planner. Mr. Perez, I consider more than just a colleague, but a friend. We have been bonded by our love for the Lakers and the Dodgers. Go Dodgers! And because we once shared an office, so we had to be more close than we really wanted to. Mr. Perez has been with the city since 2004. After graduation from Cal Poly Pomona, my alma mater, and he graduated in urban planning in 2003. Subsequently, Nathan obtained his master's degree in business administration from the Redlands University. Nathan has grown professionally in the past few years and brings on dedication, institutional knowledge, and a commitment to excellence. I'm very happy for Nathan, and I know that he will excel in his new role, which includes assisting me in mentoring and developing junior level staff to approve high quality projects and provide superior service to our citizens so that we would have a great community to live in. And I would like to bring up Mr. Perez.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor and members of the City Council and staff for having me here tonight. I actually feel very humbled and I feel honored to be promoted to Senior Planner. I'm also very excited because I'm able to grow professionally. Not only that, but also work at a higher capacity within the city, playing a more major role in the planning department. Since I first started here, Perris has grown a lot through development. I remember I used to see a lot of vacant lots here in the city of Perris, and we used to be able to see the San Gabriel Mountains and also the San Bernardino Mountains throughout any parts of Perris, and Perris has grown a lot. And I foresee it growing in the future also, and I want to be part of that, and that's the reason why I'm here. I also look forward in working with planning and also staff and working in future commercial, residential, and industrial projects in the future, and also protect the health, safety, and welfare of the Perris residents. Thank you.
Thank you. Go Dodgers.
Good evening, Honorable Mayor, members of the City Council. My name is Saida Amosgar, Human Resources and Risk Manager for the city. I'm here to introduce the city's Principal Management Analyst in the Human Resources and Risk Management Department, Ms. Michelle Clay. Ms. Clay is not a new face here at the city, as she's been with the city of Perris for over 11 years. For the last 2 years, she's held the position of Human Resources Analyst, and prior to that, Ms. Clay progressively provided administrative support to the HR division as an Administrative Assistant 1, 2, and 3. Ms. Clay holds a Bachelor of Arts degree in Business Administration from California Baptist University. She also holds a SHRM CP certification, the Society of Human Resource Management Certified Professional, and has completed this program at University of California, Riverside. Ms. Clay brings great institutional knowledge to her role, and I am grateful to have her as a leader within my team. I am certainly confident that she will do an amazing job for the city and our community. Please join me in congratulating Ms. Michelle Clay. Thank you.
Thank you, Ms. Amosgar. Good evening, Honorable Mayor and City Council. I'm grateful for the opportunity to serve the city in the role of Principal Management Analyst in the Human Resources Department. I want to thank City Management for their ongoing guidance and support. I'm excited and looking forward to the new challenges of my position. Thank you.
Next, I am pleased to introduce our new hire, Ms. Christina Pedroza, Administrative Technician 1 for the City Manager's Office. Ms. Pedroza has her high school diploma from John W. North and Riverside, and she is currently a resident of Perris. Ms. Pedroza has completed some post-high school training at Purdue University Global and has plans of returning to college to complete her educational goals. For over a year now, Ms. Pedroza has been providing temporary reception and administrative support and services to the city, and she's been doing a great job. She has excellent customer service and effective administrative talent and teamwork qualities. I am excited to have her join our team. Please join me in welcoming Ms. Christina Pedroza. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Mosgar. Okay, sorry guys, I'm a little nervous, but thank you. I want to start this off with Honorable Mayor, members of the City Council, and the city staff. I want to thank you guys all for this opportunity. I look forward to growing with the city. I look forward to excelling in my position, and I just want to thank you guys so much for this chance. Thank you so much.
Honorable Mayor, members of City Council, Dr. Grace Williams, Planning and Economic Development. I am really proud to announce Rebecca Rivera as our new Principal Management Analyst for Housing Authority. Rebecca has worked for the city for 17 years, making her one of the longest serving employees in the city. She's worked for the City Manager's Office, Code Enforcement, Housing Authority, and more recently, the Planning and Economic Development Division. Rebecca holds a Bachelor of Science degree in Business Administration and a Master's in Public Administration. She helps oversee over $11.5 million worth of grants for projects and programs, including a $500,000 grant that she herself brought in for first-time home buyers. And those funds will be released this month from HUD. She is excited to develop new programs for the residents of Perris. She is a proud mom of 3 kids, and her oldest daughter, Mercy, recently joined the Navy and is serving in Hawaii as a yeoman at the Joint Use Pearl Harbor Hickam Base. We are expecting great things from Rebecca. I'd like to invite her up.
Good evening, Mayor and City Council. I'm honored to be here tonight. I've been part of the city team since 2002, and it has been amazing watching the growth of the city, but most of all, being part of that growth. I thank you all for your leadership, your trust, and your confidence, and I'm grateful and excited for this new opportunity, and I look forward to continuing serving the city of Perris with a higher capacity as Principal Management Analyst. Thank you.
Thank you.
Good evening, Honorable Good evening, Honorable Mayor and members of the Council. Here, it's my pleasure to introduce Eduardo Sida, or as you also may be referred to as Eddie Sida. He's our new management analyst for the City of Perris. Eddie started with the City of Perris as a Western Riverside Council of Governments Public Service Fellow. He helped implement our Live Well Perris campaign with some, initiatives and activities, and he did a great job doing so. And we knew with his skill set that we had to have him as part of our city team. He became a City of Perris program coordinator. He's held that position for the last 2 years, and now with his skill set, we're happy to have him on board as our management analyst. Eddie holds a Master of Public Health with an emphasis in health policy and administration from California Baptist University. So we're excited to have him on board, and I'd like to invite Eddie Sida to introduce himself before you.
Good evening, Honorable Mayor, members of the City Council, and City staff. I just wanted to say I'm truly honored and privileged to continue my professional growth here at the City, and I want to keep it short and sweet, but also give a shout out to my mentor, Clara Miramontes, for my future career endeavors. Thank you.
Good evening, Mr. Mayor, City Council, and city leadership, especially my mentor, Mr. Bermudez. I am excited to announce our new program coordinator for the Public Health Division, Mr. Martin Martinez. Mr. Martin Martinez has been with the city for 1 year, 10 months, and 4 days, but we're not counting. And he started as a temporary program assistant working with NEOP and our public health initiatives, and has now led some of the key projects here with us in our public health division, including our GEAR program, getting employees to actively ride, as well as our Girl Perris initiative, including the Mayor's Salad Challenge, as well as applying for grants. Mr. Martinez has 2 bachelor's degrees, one in history and the other in Spanish literature. And please join me in welcoming Mr. Martin Martinez. 2 degrees from UCI.
Thank you, Ms. Lopez. Honorable Mayor, members of the City Council, and City staff. Today, I want to thank God and the City of Perris for the opportunity given to work as a program coordinator for the Public Health Division. I have been with the City of Perris for the past 2 years as a program assistant, and I am excited and honored to be part and continue the remarkable work and resources this division has been providing our community. Thank you.
Mr. Mayor, members of council, it's now my pleasure to introduce you to the final candidate today, and we have a new face, and you've seen him already in action. He's been walking around taking pictures with his cell phone, and maybe someday the city manager will buy him a real cell phone. I'm working on that. But I'm pleased to introduce our Public Information Officer, Stephen Hale. Stephen comes to us from first the U.S. Military. He was in the Navy for 8 years. Was honorably discharged from the Navy in 2016. He subsequently worked for the city of Fullerton as their Public Information Officer. So I was pleased to be able to find someone of his caliber. We went through an extensive search, got to speak to the city manager for Fullerton himself and let him know that we were going to be stealing him from him. We're very happy with his expertise. I didn't find out till his first day of work yesterday that he's a San Antonio Spur fan, so sorry. But he is a Dodger fan, so he saved himself. His career has spanned public relations from large organizations, huge, basically a city within the city, a ship that had over 3,000 employees, to the city of Fullerton, which had about 700, Stephen is what he told me. His degree comes from CBU also, and he has his bachelor's from CBU, and he's working on his master's as we speak. So I know you'll see a lot of him in the future. He's already in action today, but I'm pleased to introduce you to Stephen Hale. Stephen.
Good evening, Honorable Mayor, members of the council, city staff. Mayor Vargas, you've always been my mentor, so it's good to be here, sir.
Richard, get that camera you had ordered already.
I just want to say thank you very much for the opportunity to serve as your public information officer. I've got some experience working with the city of Fullerton, and I've been doing military public affairs for the last 8 years. So I'm excited to bring that skills and expertise to you guys. Learn the ropes. I'm still trying to figure out where the coffee pot is right now, but once I get that under control, I'm here to help and serve you guys in whatever way possible. Please reach out to me, and I'll be around the city to council members and to our staff as well. Thank you very much for having me.
Can you guys all our promotees and new hires come on up for a photo with the city council? should. You should do it too. Your staff. How's that?
Get closer. Come in closer. Come in closer. Thank you.
Experience and knowledge. Okay, item 7 is approval of minutes. 7A, consideration to approve the minutes of the special joint meeting held on April 23rd, 2019. Do I have a motion? And if there's, I have a motion by Councilwoman Rogers, second by Mayor Pro Tem Magana. Call the vote.
Five oh, motion approved.
Very good. Item 8 is our consent calendar. Mr. Belmudez, did you have something?
Yes, we have two notes, Mr. Mayor. In regards to item A, we want to, just for the record, indicate that a revised agenda was provided for the council before the meeting and distributed. There was some minor language issues that were changed prior to the agenda. And then subsequently, in regards to item J, staff is requesting we pull that item for now. We have some additional information we need to research regarding the contract, so we'll come to you at a future meeting for item J.
That's it?
Yes, thank you, Mr. Mayor.
Anybody else have anything they want to pull?
Yes, I'd like to pull item E, which is the construction award for D Street improvements.
I'm sorry, what letter was that?
Under item E.
Oh, E is in Edward?
Yes.
Gotcha. Anybody else? Okay, so looking for a motion, pulling A, E, pulling J and E. And just the amendment on, A was an amendment, right?
J, we're pulling E. I think they're just, there's questions.
And I think the city manager, Mr. Belmudez, meant item 8B.
8B?
The resolution.
So 8B is pulled.
No, not pulled. That's the corrections, cleanup
That's the corrections,
Yeah.
so.
It does not need to be pulled, just noted.
The motion is for the amendment on B and pulling E and J, right?
Yes.
I made the motion to approve the balance of the consent calendar.
There you go.
Okay.
All right, so we have a motion by Councilwoman Rogers, second by Councilman Corona. Call the vote.
Five oh, motion approved.
Thank you. So we are now going to go to item E. I believe that was Councilman Rab.
Yes. Item E is a contract agreement for several improvements on D around 2nd Street. I just had a question on one of the improvements. I think it entails placing a clock in the area. So I just had a few questions regarding the clock in terms of location, its price, if it's going to be one or two-sided, certain questions about it.
Yes, I think we have a picture of the clock, Mr. Mayor, members of the council. Maybe Everett, if you can move the picture.
Everett, can you move the slide to the?
Can you ask Everett to change this? Okay.
There it is.
Thank you. So this is the schematic of the clock, and it will be at the corner of D and 2nd Street. The cost of the clock, actual cost is about $23,000 and some change, but the installation and material, it brings it up closer to $47,000. The form and the specs as I understand, was reviewed and approved several years ago when we were going through a D Street project as a whole with all the amenities that you see out there. So this is really mimicking what's out there. As one-sided, as far as I know, so it's not double-sided.
Says
and,
double-sided.
So that's basically some of the information I have available. If you need additional information, I'm happy to provide that for you at a later date. But it's an item we can delete if you like, modify, bring back later, so it's not necessarily a big part of the project. But and the contractor is here, and I'm sure if he has any comment or concern, he can share that with us.
Overall, I like the plans that were provided for fixing up D and Second. I just think at this moment, just personally, spending $50,000 on the analog clock, I know it was part of the original schematics over a decade ago. I just don't feel comfortable approving those funds for a clock that may get graffiti, or I just don't think it really serves an actual purpose here in the city. So if my colleagues would be interested, maybe entertaining a motion to move forward with the balance of the project, excluding the clock at this time, and then maybe revisiting it at a later date, I could support that at that time.
Yes, Councilman Corona.
I kind of had the same concerns. Our staff brought it to our attention during the closed session. But I too am a little concerned for a $50,000 clock. I mean, it's nice. It looks pretty, but I'm just having issues with the price. Is there anything else we could spend the money on that would be more, would beautify our city just as well in that area? Because I'm fully in support of improving, making those beautification improvements in that area. But I too am a little bit concerned with the price tag of a $50,000 clock.
Thank you for the comments, Mr. Mayor, members of the council, and this is the reason I want to share this in particular information with the council. My recommendation is for us to delete, or for time being, delete this item from the contract, and I can bring back some suggestion while the contractor is on board working. You should also note that this is part of a CDBG grant, and we have a time limit to spend the money. And even with the clock, we still have about $200,000 to $300,000 balance that we need to spend in that general area. So time is running out on that, and part of the reason for delay was our staff was working with the adjacent property owners negotiating right away, and we had to pull back and stay from their property and get some construction easement only so we can deliver the project without impeding on adjacent businesses. So happy to work with you and bring out some other suggestions at a later date.
Anybody else? What is our time frame?
This project is due to be completed in August, September timeframe this year.
And was there anything that maybe got left out that could be added in using these funds?
Yes, originally our project was bigger in scope and required moving on the adjacent properties, the mechanic place, and do some additional work on their side. But that became complicated, needed a lot of property owners' work and assistance, so we pulled back and scaled off the project and did this. But I'm sure we can come up with some other alternative to spend this amount, if it's not the clock, on something else within that time.
Or maybe try to find a lesser expensive clock? Sure. Did the contractor want to make a comment? Sir, come on up to the microphone.
Good evening, Your Honorable Mayor and City Council and staff. Yeah, the clock actually costs, I think it's $33,000, but there's electrical that will be running from San Jacinto to 2nd Street, and they're going to be putting that in now, so that makes up the total cost. So they would have to either put the electric in now or put it in the future. So that may affect it, because that's a line item, lump sum, and it's kind of put into the whole ballpark. So there is electrical, because the clock has to have its own single line because it's continuous running all the time.
Okay.
So you might want to, I don't know.
If we buy the clock, will you throw in the line?
I'm having a
Just
heck
trying
of
to
a time
save the
getting
city
that
some
line
money.
down there.
Thank you for your comments.
So my recommendation, Mayor, is just delete it totally, and we'll come up with some other
Sure.
scheme.
All right, very good. All right, so if there's no other comments, let's vote on this item. Well, just deleting the clock from this item, right? Do we have to set a specific motion?
Mayor, I think the motion is to approve the item with the removal of the clock.
Very good. I need a second on that. Okay, we have Councilman Corona making the motion and Mayor Pro Tem Magana second. Call the vote, please.
Five oh, motion approved.
And Jay was just pulled, we just pulled that one out for future. To
Yeah,
come
we'll
back
bring
with.
that a future meeting
Very
as
good.
appropriate.
Okay, I believe we're done then with the consent. Item 9 is our public hearings. 9A is a consideration to adopt resolution, resolution numbers next in order regarding annexation of the development plan and review DPR 16-00013. And this will be proposed by Habib Matlug, our city engineer.
Yeah, thank you, Mr. Mayor, member of the council. Before we get into the nitty-gritty of this item, I just have one announcement to make. I knew that, but I just realized tonight that we're going to lose Roxanne Shepard with us as a consultant and obviously as a friend. And she's been with Perris even longer than I have been. She's been here since 1980, and she's going close to 40 years working on various CFDs and assessment districts. So she started the whole CFD process in an annexation district. So she's been a friend, a mentor, and obviously a good consultant and a team player. And you've seen her come and go at the meetings, sometimes with good news, sometimes with not so good news, but she always perform and deliver. So I just asked the council to wish her a nice retirement and hope the best for her, and join me with thanking her for her years of service. So with that, she can come up and introduce the subject and be embarrassed about it.
Thank you. Thank you, Habib. I've known Habib since his kids were, I think, in kindergarten, and he's always been so supportive, and it's been a marvelous experience working for the city of Perris. I remember when I started, there were 20 traffic signals, and now we're into the hundreds. And working with all of your staff, it's never been a dull moment, and you kept me thinking the whole time, and I appreciate that. And I'm going off into retirement with my husband of over 40 years, 2 grandkids, and a daughter that's waiting to get pregnant after I retire. So I
you're
better
not
hurry up
retiring.
and keep my date. But I'm going to move on to the item, and thank you again so much. Good evening again, Mayor, members of the City Council, and city staff. Roxanne Shepard with Wildan Financial Services. I'm here tonight to assist the city on agenda items 9A and B for the completion of special districts proceedings for a parcel under the ownership of First Industrial LP. The 10.95 acre parcel is located at the southwest corner of Perry Street and Redlands Avenue and is being developed for industrial purposes. New development is required to annex into the city's special districts, and the first agenda item 9A are proceedings for the confirmation of this project, the annexation in the city's 3 maintenance districts, Maintenance District 84-1, Landscape Maintenance District Number 1, and Flood Control Maintenance District Number 1. These districts provide revenue in perpetuity through the annual levy of assessments for the maintenance of public facilities that specifically benefit the property. Proceedings for these annexations were initiated on March 26th. On the overhead is listed the maximum annual assessments to be levied for the maintenance of streetlights and traffic signals under 84-1, parkways and medians under Landscape Maintenance District, and flood control facilities under Flood Control Maintenance District Number 1. At this time, staff is asking the mayor to open and close the public hearing. Following the hearing, the city clerk is to open the ballots. With one owner, there is one ballot per district. If the ballots are indicated with a yes vote, then the city council can consider the approval of the resolutions confirming these annexations. Thank you very much, and unless there's any questions, that concludes my presentation. Thank you.
Thank you, Roxanne. Before we open up public hearing, any comments for clarification, council? All right, this time we're going to open up public hearing. Madam Clerk, do we have any requests to speak? Is
No, sir.
there anybody at this time in the audience wishing to speak on this particular matter? Hearing or seeing none, we will close public comment. And Madam Clerk, we open up the ballots.
City of Perris, annexation of DPR 16-00013, Maintenance District Number 84-1. The ballot is marked yes. City of Perris, annexation of DPR 16-00013 to benefit zone 142, Landscape Maintenance District Number 1. The ballot is marked yes. City of Perris, annexation of DPR 16-00013 to benefit zone 108, Flood Control Maintenance District Number 1. The ballot is marked yes.
Thank you. Okay, I have a motion by Councilwoman Rogers and a second by Councilman Corona. Call the vote, please.
5-0, motion approved.
Thank you. Item B is consideration to adopt resolution next in numbers regarding annexation of parcels into Community Facilities District CFD 2001-3. This will be proposed or introduced by Ron Carr, Interim Finance Director.
Good evening, Mr. Mayor, members of the council. I'm happy to once again introduce Ms. Roxanne Shepard to present her very last agenda item for the City of Perris.
The second item is the completion of proceedings for this parcel to be annexed into the city's Public Safety Community Facilities District 2001-3. This district was formed in 2002 to fund additional police and fire services needed as the city develops. Funding is provided in perpetuity through the levy of an annual per-acre tax. Proceedings for this district's annexations were also initiated on March 26th. At this time, staff is asking the mayor to open and close the public hearing without a majority protest at the hearing. At the close of the hearing, the city council can consider a resolution calling for a special election. A waiver has been signed by the property owner for the election to be held tonight. After this resolution is passed, the mayor will direct the city clerk to open the ballots. If the ballot is indicated by a yes, then we pass the second resolution that will confirm the annexations to the CFD. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Roxanne. I really think you should consider doing 10 more years, though. Okay, any comments before we open up public comments, council? All right, we will now open up public hearing. Madam Clerk, do we have any requests to speak?
No, sir.
Anybody wishing at this time to speak on this particular matter? Hearing or seeing none, we will close public comment. And Madam Clerk, if you'll open up the ballot.
for the.
That'll
No, we
be-
need to act on the first resolution calling the election first, Mayor. The reason this is different than the other one is this is a special tax rather than an assessment, so it's a two-step process.
Gotcha. All right, so we're going to first call for a motion on the first resolution calling the election. And I have a motion by Councilwoman Rogers and a second by Councilman Corona. Call the vote, please.
Five oh, motion approved.
Thank you. Now you can open up the ballots.
Community Facilities District Number 2001-3, North Paris Public Safety of the City of Paris, Annexation Number 29, Special Tax and Appropriations Limit Election. The ballot is marked yes.
Thank you. Okay, if there are no questions, I'll entertain a motion to approve. A motion by Councilman Rab, second by Councilwoman Rogers. Call the vote.
Five oh, motion approved.
Thank you. Item C is our consideration to adopt resolution numbers next in order to acquire real property for the widening of Redlands Avenue. And this will be introduced by Eric Dunn, our city attorney.
Thank you, Mayor and members of the council. This is an ongoing, a part of an ongoing project to widen Redlands, Nuevo, and Getz for the installation of just wider streets. And our office and staff have been working with all the property owners to the extent we can, making settlement agreements, purchasing property. But every once in a while, if we don't reach a settlement, we need to bring this to the council to adopt a resolution of necessity. Doesn't mean that we're going to condemn the property, but it's another step in the process, and we will continue to negotiate. Tonight, there are a couple of properties for Redlands, and Nick Papajohn from my office will guide you through the process as he has before.
Good evening, Honorable Mayor and members of the City Council. This project tonight concerns the widening and improvement of Redlands Avenue between Ramona Expressway and Morgan Street. This project is in conjunction with the development of the Ryder Distribution Center in that area as well. And our office understands that this widening and improvement project is to begin as soon as reasonably possible, I believe, this summer or sometime this year. Next month. However, before that can be done, there's still a couple properties where the city needs to acquire possession of portions of the properties in order to widen the roads. Offer letters, appraisals and offer letters were sent out back in 2017. The property owners at issue tonight and the properties, we've only had communication with one of the property owners, and it's been mainly just information about the project and what's being acquired. We received no counteroffer and no acceptance of the city's offer. The other property owner we haven't heard anything from. And so in order to get this process moving, there needs to be legal proceedings initiated, eminent domain action, and possession can take some time going through the court process. So we need to move on this as soon as we can. In order to authorize an eminent domain action, the City Council must make 4 findings. The first one is whether the public interest, convenience, and necessity require the project. This is not an absolute necessity, but more of a reasonableness standard. These acquisitions are necessary to accommodate the growth and development as anticipated by the city's land use and circulation element. The second finding is whether the project is planned or located in the manner that will be the most compatible with the greatest public good and the least private injury. This is a balancing test. You look at how much property is being taken versus what property is being taken. Sometimes you look at what the property is being taken for, and if maybe somewhere else property can be acquired that would be less intrusive. In this case, this is a widening of a road, and the only property that's relevant is the property that borders this road, and that's the only property that's necessary at this time. The third finding is whether the interests are necessary for the project, which is related to finding number 2. And without these interests, the project cannot be constructed. And then the fourth finding is whether the offer required by the government code, section 7267.2, has been made. And the offers have been made. And that concludes my presentation. If the mayor or any members of the council have questions, I'd be more than happy to answer.
And I would note that we don't have an exhibit that's up on the screen, but if you look at the exhibits in the agenda, what we're talking about is a 17-foot wide strip on the east side of Redlands Avenue from Ramona South. So it's not taking any one property, it's taking a little bit of property that's additional to what's already there.
And just to be noted, it's just land. There's no property or anything.
That is correct, sir.
Right. Okay, before I open up the hearing, does council have any comments for questions for clarifications? Okay, this time we're going to open up public hearing. Madam Clerk, do we have any requests to speak?
No, sir.
Is there anybody at this time wishing to speak on this matter? Hearing or seeing none, we'll close public comment and we'll call for the motion. Thank you, Mr. Papajohn.
Thank you.
Okay, I have a motion by Mayor Pro Tem Magana and a second by Councilman Corona. Call the vote.
5-0, motion approved.
Item D is consideration to adopt resolution number next in order approving the 2019 through 2024 consolidated plan with analysis of impediments to fair housing choice and the fiscal year 2019-2020 action plan. And this will be introduced by Dr. Grace Williams, our Director of Planning and Economic Development.
Thank you, Honorable Mayor, members of the City Council. This item will be presented by Sarah Cortez de Pavon.
Good evening, Honorable Mayor, members of the City Council, and city staff. The item before you pertains to the 5-year consolidated plan with annual action plan and analysis of impediments. As you know, every year the city receives entitlement funding from the U.S. Department of Housing and Urban Development for the Community Development Block Grant Program, also called CDBG. The consolidated plan is a 5-year planning tool that must be updated again every 5 years, along with an analysis of impediments to fair housing, and every year we do an annual action plan. In the process for developing these reports, the city did conduct information booths for the citizen participation and community input. Additionally, the items before you as far as funding recommendations do meet our HUD goals, which are to ensure decent housing, create a suitable living environment, and to create economic opportunities for individuals. The analysis of impediments to fair housing is a document which is a comprehensive review of city and private organizational policies that determine their effect on the availability of fair housing to its residents. Previously, the council did approve preliminary recommendations on April 9th of last month. Late April, the city did receive its allocation for fiscal year 1920 from HUD. It is 5% less for the upcoming fiscal year than the current fiscal year. We did receive $908,522. As you see before you, 7 external agencies and 1 internal agency have been recommended for funding for public service projects. HUD does have a statutory caps on our allocation, so 15% of that $900,000 does have to be allocated to public service projects. The public service cap equals to $136,278. For our non-public service projects, that equals out to $590,539. And that's only 65% of our allocation from HUD. As you see before you, four internal departments and one external agency have been recommended for funding. And for our administration and planning cap, it is set at 20%, which equals to $181,704. As the consolidated plan with the analysis of impediments to fair housing and the annual action plan are planning documents, it's not subject to CEQA as it would not result in a direct or foreseeable physical change in the environment, nor considered a project pursuant to CEQA guidelines. Therefore, staff recommends that council conduct a public hearing on the final 2019-2024 consolidated plan with analysis of impediments to fair housing choice and 1920 annual action plan for funding, and that council adopt resolution number next in order approving the final 1924 consolidated plan with annual action plan and analysis of impediments to fair housing choice. This concludes staff presentation. I'll be happy to answer any questions.
Thank you. Council, any comments for clarification before I open up public hearing? At this time, we're going to open up public hearing. Madam Clerk, do we have any requests to speak?
Yes. Tammy Main.
Good evening, Honorable Mayor, City Council members, and staff. My name is Tammy Marine. I'm the Executive Director of Habitat for Humanity Inland Valley. I'm here tonight to talk about the recommendation for CDBG funds for Habitat for Humanity. Habitat for Humanity is a nonprofit organization that provides home ownership opportunities, and we improve living conditions through our home preservation programs. While we have done homeownership opportunities here in the city of Perris, we have yet to work on many home repairs in the area, and so we're really excited at the possibility of partnering with the city. We currently work with CDBG funds in 5 cities in Southwest Riverside County, including the county, and we complete about 120 projects a year, so we're working almost every weekend. I tell you that because I understand that CDBG, the complexities of that, and I want you to know that as a new agency, we're ready to work with the CDBG funding requirements. More importantly, on the program side, every single day in our country, 10,000 senior citizens are turning 65, and with life expectancy expected to grow and grow because of health advancements, it's important that we provide services that allow our homeowners, senior citizens, to age in place. And simultaneously, our program also improves neighborhoods by revitalizing them in selected areas, and so we feel it's a community benefit overall. Also, our program, the design of our program helps to leverage government funds because we're able to use volunteers to help with the exterior repairs and reduce our labor costs, and also the in-kind donations and sponsorships we get. So because of that, in Southwest Riverside County, we replaced 3 cities' home repair programs, and we're hoping to be yours as well. So I just want to thank you in advance for your consideration. We love working in the city of Perris. We're here to stay, and we want to do what we can to improve the lives of our senior citizens and your community at large. Thank you very much.
Thank you. Anybody else, Madam Clerk?
That is all.
Anybody else wishing to speak on this matter? Here, seeing none, we will close public comment. And if there's no questions from council, we'll entertain a motion to approve. Have a motion by Councilwoman Rogers, second by Mayor Pro Tem Magana. Call the vote, please.
Five oh, motion approved.
Item 10 is our business items. We have none. Item 11 is public comment. Madam Clerk, do we have any requests to speak?
Yes, Bill Lamb.
Mr. Lamb.
Good evening, Mayor Vargas, members of the City Council. I'm Bill Lamb from the Southern California Railway Museum. At the end of April, we had a tamale festival. We had about 4,000 attendees. We had almost 300 ride the trains. Unfortunately, I was at the Heritage Rail Alliance meeting in Sacramento with my sons. I couldn't pass that up. I understand that the mayor and members of the council attended. I hope you had a good time.
We had a tamale for you, yes.
Only one? No, thank you. So I understand it was a good time, and thank you for attending. This coming weekend, we are going to have our annual Civil War enactment. It will have the North and South will have simulated battles, cannon fire, and rifle fire. The council members have asked in the past that we make sure we notify the sheriff's department. Our general manager contacted the sheriff's department yesterday, and they asked that we again contact them on Saturday morning, which we plan on doing. It's an interesting time, so plan on coming out. Also, that weekend, we will be running our steam locomotive. It'll be the next to the last time this year. We'll run it this weekend, both days. I work on the steam locomotive. They're fascinating, but if you work on them for 15 minutes, you understand why the railroads got rid of them. They are an exciting piece of history. They are part of all of our history, but there's a reason that they're no longer operating on a regular basis. Then, the June 1 and 2nd, we will be having our steampunk. It's 1880s technology or 1880s attire dressed up with 20th and 21st century technology. Basically, Jules Verne on steroids. Our steam locomotive will also be running that weekend. We were asked explicitly by the people who are putting on the event that we run the steam locomotive. They said, what is the fun of steampunk without a steam locomotive? So we will be having that. Then I also gave you flyers for the Perris Rods and Rails on June 8th. We're looking forward to that. We look forward to your coming out. One of the things that we really like about dealing with the city of Perris is that your staff leave the museum nicer than it was when they came. And we really appreciate that. The flyers, I gave you additionally a flyer for that because we ran out of flyers for Perris. But a flyer on that and 2 flyers on the steam locomotive. They were put together by a museum member, Dick Appel, who was in the modeling industry. And he is also a Perris resident. So we are trying to increase our outreach and our work with members of the Perris community. One of the things that was highlighted at the Heritage Rail Alliance is that in order for railroad museums and other museums to continue to exist, we need to do a better job of reaching out to the local community, and we're discussing ways to do that. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Mr. Lamb. Anybody else?
That is all.
Thank you. Anybody else at this time wishing to speak on any matter?
Public comment, right?
Yes.
Okay, so, good evening, Mayor and Councilwoman. My name's Angelo Esparza, and I'm a representative from the Southwest Regional Council of Carpenters. And we're a local union organization out here in Riverside County, San Bernardino County. I just wanted to let you guys know on, as a Southwest Carpenters, we like to be interactive in our communities. You know, we live here, like to build here. We're also interactive as well. Just want to let you guys know, on the 25th here of this month, we're going to be over at the Riverside National Cemetery for a flag for every hero. Our membership's going to be out there with a tent. Last year it was a great turnout. This year we're hoping to get double membership out there. We're going to be out there putting a flag on every heroes headstone, until we run out. So just wanted to let you guys know that. Well, this is just the little things that we like to do. We also took part in a Habitat for Humanity a couple of years ago, right down the road here in the old town. But that's all I have, just to let you know we are active out here, and we do appreciate the service you guys do for our communities. Thank you.
Thank you, Angel. Maybe next year, Angel, don't run away. So here in Paris, we have a cemetery of over 800 veterans are buried in there all the way back to the Civil War.
Oh.
So I invite you next year to come on by and place some flags in our cemetery as well.
Okay, well,
We'll talk about it.
we'll get some information here after, if that's okay.
I'll have my card. Well, can you wait a few minutes after and we'll speak?
Absolutely.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Uh-huh. Okay, anybody else wishing to speak at this time? Okay, we'll close public comment and move on to council comment. Councilman Reb?
Yes. Thank you, Mayor Vargas. In addition to the council, I serve as the Community Action Partnership Liaison for the City of Perris. Just want to let staff know and the council know and the community know that Community Action Partnership, May is Community Action Partnership Month. Community Action Partnership provided free tax assistance for people making under $70,000 this year in the City of Perris and throughout Riverside County. Just to let the community know that their efforts have led to $11 million in tax refunds, and Perris being the third highest location for people getting free tax assistance over at the Family Resource Center on Perris Boulevard. And they'll be operating hot centers during the summer, and they'll be starting shortly, and I'll have the information soon regarding the hot centers. One matter that many residents in the downtown area have brought to my attention is if we could look into establishing a quiet zone for the train traffic going through the downtown area. The city of Riverside has installed 2 quiet areas, one in the middle section of the city and one on the section near UC Riverside. So if we can look at the cost of establishing a quiet area, we have a lot of intersections from San Jacinto all the way to Redlands, and a lot of people in those areas. We have a lot of train traffic and a lot of noise, especially at night and somewhat during the day with the MetroLink traffic. So if we can look into the feasibility of implementing that, it'd be much appreciated for that area. And with that, that ends my comments for today.
Okay, great. Thank you. Councilman Corona?
Yes. On this past Saturday, I did attend the hike at Cabian Park. I want to thank the staff and all the residents that showed up. It was just a great event. It was smaller numbers, but it was still a great event. I do want to encourage all the residents. Although the city hikes aren't going to happen again until September, I do want to encourage you to keep hiking, stay active, keep riding a bike, and just keep enjoying our Paris weather until it gets really hot. I also did attend with my fellow council members on the mental wellness event. It was just a great event. A lot of teenagers just coming out, and our staff, like always, did a fantastic job at staying organized and ensuring that it did go smoothly. I did also have a chance to visit our skate park at Paragon Park. I kind of just walked in there and just talked to the youth that were in there. Some people as young as 10 years old, and some people my age. I actually went to high school with a couple of them. Just great just talking to them and finding out what their concerns. They did have a couple of concerns that our skate park hasn't been maintained with the cleanliness, and also some of the lights are having an issue. So if we could maybe address those issues, and then I'm going to bring some stuff also at our next Parks and Rec meeting regarding that. The big one for me, I did attend with Mayor Pro Tem Magana, our second homeless subcommittee meeting. Swag gave us a great presentation, so I definitely want to request that we invite Swag here, so they're able to give a similar presentation to the rest of the council and also our residents at large. It was just a great presentation on an update of what they've been able to accomplish, and also some of the challenges that they've been having. So, for example, they let us know that they're expecting to receive money from the county, but somehow it might be getting tied up. So, in the future, if we could, our city could communicate with them and see if we could help Swag to those important resources for our community. the code enforcement was there as well as law enforcement, and the city and our city staff was also there to address some of our issues and see from this point forward how do we continue to address this issue. So I thought it was a very effective meeting. Our city has been very compassionate. We've taken a compassionate responsibility approach. We've been very, very compassionate. Every homeless in our city has been given multiple opportunities to find opportunities to better their lives, and many of them have taken advantage of it. There's been great success stories, but unfortunately, there are still others that need some encouragement. So I definitely think that it's important that we become compassionate, but we also need to be responsible. So while talking to some of our businesses, our city needs to be responsible towards them as well. So our city needs to be responsible with our businesses, ensuring that they're not having their property being stolen, wires are being stolen, shopping carts are being stolen from our shopping centers. Our city also needs to be responsible with our families, ensuring that they're able to go to a clean park, that their kids aren't having to go into a park and seeing a broken pipe on the ground, or some people in the bushes, doing things where they should be in a restroom instead. Our city also needs to be responsible when it comes to ensuring that our place is safe and welcoming for all of our residents, and where people don't have to go to a shopping center or grocery store and have to feel approached all the time or feel unsafe in there. So I definitely think from our city needs to be more responsible. It seems like our code enforcement is starting to become more proactive. Law enforcement is doing a great job too. I know I've addressed it before, but it's important that we also educate our residents about what they may perceive as being compassionate and giving is actually creating a negative effect, as in you're essentially enabling the problem. So for example, we did learn of statistics that more than 75% of them are self-describing themselves as being addicted to drugs or alcohol. So if somebody gives them money, what you're doing, instead of feeling like you're helping them, you are essentially enabling their behavior. And at the same time, a lot of them have mental health issues as well too. So it's important that we do take a responsible approach in that. So I want to see about. I know I brought it up before about putting signage near, about instead of giving money, if to instead call a phone number, a 211 or informational number instead. At the same time too, I know I've talked about before, if we can finally put it into the our on track Perris, about putting something in there like some of our neighboring cities have done. So I am very optimistic. Our city of Perris, in 1 year, we did get an 18% decrease of homeless, as the rest of this Riverside County saw a 21% increase. So our city is doing good, but there's so much more for us to do. I'm never going to stop being compassionate, but it's also important that we become responsible. With that said, I normally don't do special things, but May's a very important month in my family. My son just turned 4 years old yesterday, but I do want to give special recognition. My mother and father, they're going to celebrate 40 years anniversary, and she's over there in the back. And then my father's actually going to be 70 years old, so I want to give them a special happy anniversary to my mom and dad, and to my father, happy birthday. Thank you. Oh, thank you. Sorry.
Councilwoman Rogers.
All right. Last Friday, I got to attend the Mother's Day brunch at the Senior Center, and that was really nice to see all of the mothers there. And some of them got flowers and raffle prizes, but it was a nice time for fellowship, and mothers are always appreciated. And I had a wonderful time this past weekend celebrating with my own children. And as an upcoming event, this coming Saturday night is our big senior prom. So we'll be there watching our seniors have the time of their life as they enjoy themselves with a wonderful dinner and all dressed up. And I think the theme is going to Paris or something to that effect. So I know our staff has been working very diligently to make that event as great as it always has been the last 6 or 7 years that we've done it. It's one of my favorite events. The seniors truly love it, and it's a wonderful evening. Also, the City Council on routinely every annual event, we attend the Western Riverside Council of Government annual meeting that always takes place in June. This year at that event, we get to honor a number of different people with special awards during that ceremony after we take care of our business and vote in our new members and approve the budget. I'm very pleased to announce, and particularly after Councilmember Corona talked about our wonderful SWAG team, that they have been approved as the nonprofit organization to be awarded this year. So SWAG will receive that award for the 6 cities that they work for here in Riverside County. They have over 800 interactions with homeless people throughout the last year. And here in Perris, as of April 30th, they've actually placed 39 people in shelters. So they've got a tremendous track record. The mayor of Wildomar and Brian from Lake Elsinore was very supportive of everything they've done in those jurisdictions. And we know here in Perris they've made a tremendous effort, and they're available 24/7 to go out and talk to our homeless people, try to get them to their medical appointments, try to get them all the resources they need. So that'll be a wonderful thing for us to witness them receiving that award. And that's all I have this evening. Thank you.
Thank you. Mayor Pro Tem?
Thank you, Mayor. Councilwoman Rita Rogers and I participated in the Ways and Means Committee. I also had the chance to attend the 2019 Regional Conference and General Assembly for the Southern California Association of Governments. And this is a conference where about 950 civic leaders from throughout Southern California gathered in order to collaborate in regards to issues facing the region, nation, and global community. So it was a highly informative event. And then I also had the opportunity to drop by the Adaptive Zumba class, which is now being offered here at the Bob Glass Gym. It's taking place every Wednesday, 9 to 10 a.m. And just a special thank you to Juan Rodriguez for coordinating this initiative. And I look forward to learning what else our city will be doing for our disabled community. And then council, we had the opportunity to attend the Rotary Club of Perris Gala, where they recognized our very own mayor, so congratulations, Mayor, as well as other individuals who contribute to our community. And then along with Councilmember Rab and Councilmember Corona, we did the Reality Rally Race, which was a lot of fun. Don't ask us where we placed, but we did it for a great cause. So this was to benefit Michelle's Place Cancer Research Center. It took place here in Temecula locally. And then, like Corona mentioned, we participated in the Homeless Task Force Committee. And whenever we attend, we learn a lot of great information. And as well, I'd like to promote the SWAG Champion Meet and Greet that will be taking place Thursday, May 16th at 6 p.m. at the Perris Police Department. This is where you will have an opportunity, just like Councilmember Corona and I, to learn all about the work that SWAG is doing and how you as a resident here in the community can get involved and do your part. Councilmember Corona and I also participated in the education stakeholder meeting, which was really exciting to hear about the progress we're making for our Skills Training Center. We met with site development designers, as well as career technical education stakeholders. And then lastly, like we mentioned, the mental health conference was a great success given that it was the first event. And I'd like to just thank Wendy Romero, the CEO and founder for Love for Life, as well as city staff for bringing forth such a great event. And I'm sure it was informative yet fun for all our youth here in the city. And that concludes my council communications.
Thank you. Okay, had a great visit at Citrus Hill High School and then followed by PALS. That's our Pathways to Adult Life Skills. That's for our adult high school kids that up to about 22 years of age out of Perris Union High School District that have learning disabilities. They had a visit thanks to, and I think he came in, Mr. Nagar, our town lawyer, took them to SoCal Railway Museum. And from there, he had a sponsor from one of our cannabis industries here in Paris over to Lagar where they had lunch. So I got to join them for that. These are a really amazing a group of kids. And I want to give prompts to Mr. Nagar that he's continually going on field trips with these kids and just take them around throughout all the different tourism spots that we have in Paris. So thank you for that. Had an opportunity to visit Triple Crown Adult School. In fact, Councilman Corona's brother teaches there, and there's quite a few adult schools throughout Paris Union Elementary, Paris High School District, as well as Valverde. It's a good thing for our community members, teaching them English as a second language and/or working on getting their high school diploma and whatever else they may need in adult school. So I really do appreciate those courses. From my RCTC, the Riverside County Transportation Commission, if you're familiar with the Badlands, for those folks who out there in our community may travel back and forth on the 10 freeway, there will be a 6-month closure. There's a big project to widen the 60, what they call the 60 truck lanes. It's only 2 lanes there now, east and west. We're going to widen it up to 3 and 3. But there will be a lane closure for 6 months going westbound. So just to give you a heads up on that. At the Tamale Mixer, which was the night before the Tamale Fest, I was gracious to meet a young man, a 6-year-old, Arthur. That's a tongue twister. He's an author of a Kindergarten CEO. That's a book on bullying. And he authored it, and it's been published. He's selling them, and just a great kid. I got a chance to meet with him, and I had a better opportunity to introduce him to Wendy Romero, who's one of our interns right now, but she's also the CEO and founder of Love for Life Association, which is an anti-bullying and suicide prevention program. So the young man came to our conference that we just had this past weekend on empowering youth minds. So that was a good connection there for both those important people. The Perris Color Run, the Perris Elementary School District Color Run into our Perris Health Fair. It was a great event. Full of paint, I might say. And I want to thank staff for doing a great program, and none of us mentioned, but I know it's out there anyway, but I want to thank staff too for Breakfast with the Bunny. That was also a great event, and we want to thank staff for putting on a fantastic event. And Rotary Club, yeah, we walked away with 3 awards. Paris was rocking that night. Mayor's breakfast with the League of Cities, as well as our League of Cities General Meeting. There's a lot of important bills and issues. I think some of you are getting those on your emails. I'll be connecting with the city manager because we need to bring those forward and start writing some letters of opposition or support, whatever we got to do to help them out. I think that was it. We need to move on anyway. It's getting late. Okay. Thank you. We'll move on to item number 13, City Manager's Report.
Mr. Mayor, members of council, we have 2 videos to highlight tonight, some of the activities, both past and future. The first one is a sustainability award awarded to the City of Paris from the County of Riverside by the Department of Water Resources, and it was recognized, the Grow Paris initiative was recognized for composting, crop development, and reducing chronic disease. So we'll go ahead and present a quick clip of that video. Subsequent to that, I'm going to have Cynthia Lemus come up and introduce, I think a couple of you mentioned already, the senior prom coming up. So she's going to introduce a video for that event. So with that, Everett, please cue it up.
To put its goals of health and wellness at the forefront, the City of Paris doesn't mind getting dirty in the garden, or rather, gardens. With its Live Well Paris campaign and the Grow Paris initiative, the city aims to develop dozens of food gardens in the area with the goal of creating sustainable crop development and at the same time reduce the risk of chronic disease among residents. It's a multifaceted effort. Outreach starts early, with school gardens giving youngsters the ability to grow their own fruits and vegetables, as well as make smarter choices during mealtime. As you can see, it's a hit. The education isn't just limited to schools. Near City Hall, the Paris Green City Farm plays host to numerous events, including Chef in the Garden, where residents can learn healthy recipes and enjoy samples grown from the garden.
And Ms. Lemus, please.
Thank you, Mr. Belmudez. Good evening, Honorable Mayor, members of the council, and city staff. I am here to invite you all to our 6th annual senior prom, as Ms. Rogers already mentioned. So it's an exciting time for our seniors. And this year's theme is A Night in Paris. So our seniors are going to get to enjoy a walk down the red carpet, a sit-down dinner provided by Sizzler, and our live band, which is Doc Rocket, which will play a variety of music so the seniors could dance the night away. Senior prom takes place on Saturday, May 18th from 4 p.m. to 9 p.m. at the Bob Glass Gym. And tickets can be purchased until Friday, May 17th at by stopping by the Perris Senior Center. Tickets are $5 per person for resident and $10 per person for non-resident. They are hot items, so make sure you come on by soon. And we hope to see you guys all there. And exciting time. That concludes my presentation. If you have any questions.
Thank you very much. Looking forward to it.
And that concludes the city manager's report, Mr. Mayor. Thank you.
Thank you. Okay, if nobody has anything else, we move to item number 14, which is our adjournment. Thank you, everybody, for coming out, and for all our audience out there and from home.